To be like those
Nice.
super Gosu GSL casters, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah,
Um,
dude.
and in the south position for the Confederation, it is, I guess they call him
Wugi.
Wario in chat, yeah. ConFed Wugi.
That sounded legit, dude. That was good.
So yeah, so we'll see what, if anything different comes out from Orchid in this game. I'm pretty sure Wugi watched the last game on stream, so he knows that Orchid went for that 11-11, and he throws down the 11 gas. So pretty similar, it seems like so far. Opener
Wait,
from,
Reaper for
he's going to
Opener,
get
correct?
he ended up going, actually he didn't end up going Reaper. He went for just a super fast factory into like this Marine Hellion push off one base, expanding behind it. It was like kind of funky, but
Interesting.
he made
Wow.
it work enough to like get to a mid game, and then he ended up just establishing his bases a little bit
So was it
earlier and
was it
taking
more
some
one
better
base
fights.
aggression?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't like all in or anything, but it
Yeah, of
was
course.
like it was definitely there was a concerted effort to do damage from
Yeah.
Orchid's side.
And again, I'm not a Terran player. I it's my off race, but I'm not very good at it. So for Terran versus Terran, you aim to fast expand extremely quickly.
So I mean, it's a gamble, right? It's not like PvP where if you expand you just die.
PvP gets
Um,
ridiculous.
right,
Yeah.
PvP is kind of brutal in that sense, where it's like, oh, you put down a command or a nexus, so I'm just going to build 4 more zealots than you have and just win.
Yes. Yes.
Um, Terran versus Terran's a little bit more forgiving with that, just because um,
Looks
I
like you
guess
have the fast,
like
pressure.
the aggression units um, are the same units. I feel like they almost like defend better than they attack, if that makes sense.
No, that makes
Like a
sense.
siege tank that's defending.
It's better than a siege shake that's on the offensive. That makes total
Right, a
sense.
little bit, and
Even
like a banshee attack, like Marines handle that pretty well, and so there's like there's more ways to kind of skirt out of it, and the idea that like a Viking and a Raven basically just make cloak banshees moot, and that's like one of the major aggressive tendencies in TVT, just kind of makes for some some longer games and some more creative ways to make I guess one base aggression if you want to do
TBT
it.
feels so RTS esque.
Yeah, it's they always say it's the closest to like chess of any matchup
Yes.
because I don't know how big of a chess player you are, but it's a very position-oriented game where you could have less material on board, but your material could be in a stronger position and you'll win. And
Yeah.
TVT is very similar to that. As we're getting some lag from Wugi, hopefully that doesn't affect his play. But TVT is very similar to that, where let's say you have a couple siege tanks less than your opponent, but you have air dominance, and then you can just kind of stair step your way and win, despite not having as much army because even though he's got those couple extra tanks, for example, it's not enough to like a move into your sieged tanks with his unsieged tanks. So, yeah, it's a little
Looks like
bit
we're having,
harder.
like similar build openings from each of these players, correct?
Yeah, it's pretty similar, except that Orchid is still going for this drop that I was mentioning before. He's going to get this Hellion with this medevac that's going to start up as soon as he's got the 100 gas. There it goes. And he'll drop with 3 Marines and a Widow Mine with the Hellions kind of following at the coattails, trying to do damage. So the same build he did in Game 1. And Wugi is going for, I guess, a more conventional just Cloak Banshee opener. He'll start the Banshee and the Cloak simultaneously, and away he'll go. He's getting a Tech Lab on the factory to start some siege tanks for defensive purposes. I don't think they'll be out in time. I don't think there's any way they'll be out in time. But, yeah, it's just kind of going to come down to...
Wugi might expect this aggression. He definitely saw the Widow Mine and he saw the Hellion. The Hellion killed off the worker.
yeah, and the fact that he's got a lot of Marines back here. I mean, it's not like a ton, but he's got 8 Marines that are going to be here. Um, and this is nice here where he can kind of like drop into the back of Polar Knight. That's what Orchid's going to try to do as he lifts up into the medevac and he's going to drop in. But with the Banshee and the Marines, does Wugi see this right now? Yeah, he does see it with his refinery. The Widowmine's going to burrow. Is he going to be able to focus it down?
He's
He
gonna
is
save
going to
it.
focus. He's definitely going to focus it down. He doesn't even need to use a scan. This army is just going to die. The medevac is going to get picked off. No, he's not. He's going to boost out of there with those couple of units, and so Wugi holds very comfortably. Um,
He
behind
still has the
this,
Banshee on the back of it.
behind
to
this,
pressure.
the engineering bay is just starting here. there is a Viking out somewhere. I saw it in the production tab. There it is, flying by the starport. So he'll have the Viking. He won't have the engineering bay or the turrets just yet. He doesn't have enough energy for a scan as he just put down that mule. So maybe not the best idea. So for a little while, this Banshee is just going to go to town here. Great news for Wugi. He's going to kill off one Marine, second Marine, and then the SCVs. And this could get out of hand if Orchid's not careful here. Continuing to kill off these Marines too, and that's kind of nice in TVT as well because you know, that's army that he won't have later on. And this Banshee now just worth its weight in gold. 11 kills here. Just 3 of them have been worker kills, so they're actually even on workers. But Wugi has taken a relatively commanding lead in the army supply, and he knows it as he moves out with this this push that I'm actually a pretty big fan of.
Yeah, I think this push is going to be super effective because the Orchid is just now expanding, and
he has no tanks, and he's just got like Marines. He's got exactly. four Marines and 2 Vikings to deal with this.
The tech lab is only halfway done on the factory for Orchid.
And it's 63 supply to 40. I mean, it's just a huge advantage here for the ConFed Terran. And there's actually a pretty cool variation to this build that you can do where you don't get Cloak on the Banshees, and instead you use that gas to get a Raven and a couple of Vikings. And so you just come out with like this massive amount of air superiority. But the SCVs pulled off the line here. The Marines not even being microed. Wugi very comfortable here to just roast and toast. GG's called. And yeah, Wugi comes out on top. Really, really nice win and takes a game back for ConFed. The score is now 2-1.